Hello and welcome to another episode of the Open Mind Project. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about coffee enemas. Probably not everyone's favorite topic. I'm sure when you hear the word coffee enema, probably you start to frown, turn your head the other way, or just the sound of the word enema probably leaves a really bad impression in your mind. Now, I felt the exact same way, but in this video, I want to share with you some of the benefits, some of the tips, things that I wish I knew before I tried it out, but most of all, my experience with the coffee enema detox strategy. Now, most of you already probably know what an enema is, so I'm not going to cover that specific aspect, neither am I going to go through the exact protocol, but hopefully share with you some of the tips and things that I wish I knew. So as always, none of this is medical advice. I'm not a medical professional, so please do your own research and consult your own medicinal professional. So let's get into it. My experience with the coffee enema, initially I thought it's something really difficult to do, probably really challenging, or something that we would need to frown upon, but far from that. And I think it is probably a really powerful detox strategy, especially with all that's going on today with the so-called medical intervention, as well as the pollution of the water. So that's including like the tap water, the air that we breathe. There's just so much toxicity, including the foods that we eat, especially like highly processed foods or foods that are grown in soil that's not considered organic. So we need a lot of really powerful detox strategies, and this was one that I was willing to give a try in terms of understanding whether it could be really beneficial in terms of helping me out with a powerful detox. So as I mentioned, it is a really powerful detox, and yes, I think it works. Definitely expel a lot of waste from trying out this coffee enema. Now the reason for this is because a coffee enema essentially stimulates the liver to dump a lot of toxins versus a normal enema that just uses water. So because it uses coffee, it stimulates both the liver and the gallbladder to release a lot of toxins, and then you excrete it out, which is really important because some of us may be doing a lot of detoxes, but we don't have anything to really expel it out of the body. So all that toxicity gets dumped and is processed by the liver and just accumulates in the liver, and we need something to help us eliminate it from the body. Now, in terms of tips, things I wish I knew before doing the coffee enema. Number one, make sure you use organic coffee. It's really important. You don't want to be using anything that's going to just add to the toxicity. You're trying to get rid of toxicity, so please use an organic coffee. There are specific coffees that are designed just for coffee enemas, so please take a look at those. They're probably more potent or beneficial in terms of using that. We generally try to go with a weaker coffee rather than a strong coffee when you're doing the enema. The other important aspect is to make sure you're using a really good water source. So preferably reverse osmosis water would be better, because you don't, as for the same reasons, you don't want to add more toxins to your body when you're doing this procedure, or to have those being absorbed in your colon. So that's another important aspect to know. Something that can make it really easy is using a rubber colon tube rather than the standard ones that come with a lot of the enema kits. It just makes it a bit more easier. And then also to use KY jelly with that instead of Vaseline or an oil, just because you're going to damage that tube over a long period of time if you end up using oil or Vaseline in place. The other thing that's really important with coffee enemas, and hopefully most of you who are attempting enemas probably know this, is don't use too hot water. It should be lukewarm body temperature heat, so that you're not doing any harm when doing this procedure. Another aspect that you want to take note of is when you're doing the enema, try and run the water so it comes right to the tip of the colon tube. And that's because you don't want a lot of air to go through into your colon. It's just going to make it so much more difficult to hold it in for however many minutes you want to hold it, preferably around 5 to 10 minutes, but something you want to be mindful of when you're doing the enema. It just makes it so much worse if you're just pumping a whole lot of air in before the actual coffee enema gets into your colon. So let's just look at some of the other notes that I've made. I think it's preferable if you do it on an empty stomach or after you've had your daily dump. It just makes it easier so that you're excreting more toxins versus your normal daily waste. But I mean, obviously for people who suffer with constipation, it can be a really powerful tool in terms of bringing you some relief. So if you're someone that's doing a lot of detoxes, fasting, and other detoxes, maybe a parasite cleanse, this is also something to maybe consider as part of your arsenal in terms of helping to actually eliminate all that waste that is processed by the body. Because a lot of these detoxes that we do, such as fasting, it may be causing a lot of excretion of toxins in the body, and we need something to just basically get it out instead of keeping those toxins within the body. So for people that suffer with a lot of colds, coughs, mucus buildups, this might be also something that you may want to consider because it is helping to alleviate the stress on the liver. As I mentioned, it's really beneficial in terms of getting the liver to excrete or let go of a lot of toxin buildup. And this might be a really good way to eliminate that from the body itself. So if you're someone that's suffering with a lot of sinus, mucus buildup, coughs, colds, something to think about. So as I mentioned, probably not everyone's favorite topic, but I think based on the current times, a lot of us should probably be thinking about some of the detox strategies that are out there to help us cope with helping our body eliminate all these toxins so that we can function at a much more optimal level. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, suggestions, post them down in the comment section below. And if this content resonates with you and you think someone can benefit from this, please go ahead and share this video. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. And with that, I hope to see you in my next video.